We're going to be doing 6 exercises in total, but we'll pair them with antagonistic movements, and we're going to really hit these forearms from every different angle. So we're going to start with wrist flexion and extension. Get your elbows on a bench like this. Keep your elbow and forearm still, and we're going to curl up as far as you can and then control it on the way down and open the fingers at the bottom so you get to full wrist flexion. So grip as hard as you can, curl up, back down slowly, and then release. 3, 4, of course we're isolating the movement to the forearms, to the wrists. 5, 6, so we're really working those forearms. 7, 8, make sure you go down as far as you can, then open up the fingers so you go to full wrist flexion. 9, 10, 11, one more, 12. All right, so that's our wrist flexion, wrist extension. Generally speaking, we're about twice as strong with wrist flexion as we are wrist extension. So I did 3 kilo dumbbells there. I think that's 6.5 or 7 pounds or something like that. So I've got 5 kilos here, which is 11 pounds. It's good if you've got those dumbbells that go up in 1 kilo or 2.2 pound increments, but I've got mine go up in 2.5 kilo increments, so it is what it is. So that's 1, 2, so it's exactly the same thing but in reverse. So you open up the fingers at the bottom. 3, and you can do this at the end of any upper body strength workout, or you could do it as a complete workout on its own. You know, I'm doing it with you in a follow along routine so that you can see how efficiently you can get it done if you do antagonistic movements like what I'm doing here. I think that's 9, 10, we always control the eccentric a little bit slower than the concentric. 11, 12, and the main reason why we do that is because the majority of the damage that occurs to muscle fibers, that is the stimulus for muscle hypertrophy, so the growth of muscles, it actually occurs during the eccentric contraction, the eccentric phase of the contraction. So if you slow down that eccentric and you give yourself more time under tension, you get more muscle hypertrophy. So it just makes sense if you're going to do 12 reps and we're trying to get jacked forearms that we do it that way. Okay, round 2. 1, 2. Now you could do more rest period if you wanted. 3 to maximize how much weight you could lift. But the truth is, probably one of the main reasons why so few people do this kind of a workout or do these kinds of exercises is because we've all only got so much time to work out, right? Like, you know, if you can dedicate 60 to 90 minutes at the gym 4 or 5 days a week, then you're in the upper percentile of people that are dedicating time to the gym. And so if you are actually going to do these exercises, I like to really just keep the rest periods short so that it doesn't just become something that you think, nah, that's too hard, I don't have time for it. I think that's 12 reps. So, you know, the whole thing about when you do antagonistic muscle movements is that the wrist flexors are recovering relatively, mostly while I'm training the wrist extensors, okay? So now when I get into my wrist flexion, the wrist extensors are resting and relaxing. 1, 2, there's a lot of good reasons to train antagonistic movements in a 1-to-1 ratio like this, like what I'm doing, but efficiency is one of the best ones. Structural balance is another one, so that you have, you know, when you train one movement more than the antagonistic movement, you create an imbalance in the joint. So this way we ensure that we've got balance in our muscles. It also helps to increase flexibility because it's very, very hard to tense a muscle, to contract a muscle that's just been fatigued. And so it allows deeper range of motion in the antagonistic movement, which increases flexibility. Woo! Oh, you start to feel that. Gives a good burn in the old forearms. So we're just going to do 3 sets. So this is our third and final set, and you're going to be feeling it by now. If you're doing this properly and you're doing it with me, you're probably feeling like, oh my God, my arms are on fire. And if they're not, then next time you can probably lift a little bit more weight. Here we go, final set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, woo, 12. All right. Oh, forearms are on fire. Okay. Had so many people ask me for forearm exercises recently, and I've never done a video on a good forearm workout before, so I thought I'll just do a follow along workout. 1, so I'm hoping you're enjoying this. If you're getting value out of it, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I post multiple follow along workouts every week. I post daily content and share it with your friends if you think your friends might like this. 6, oh man, I'm feeling it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Woo! All right, now we put the bench away and we're going to grab a broom, and I'll show you why. Now we do pronation to supination, and I like a broomstick because you can really easily choose how difficult it is. So the further your hand away is from the end of the broom, the harder it is, and the closer it is to the end of the broom, the easier it is. You can use club bells and stuff like that, but this is my preference. What you want to do, make sure that you don't get a kink in your wrist like this. Okay, you really want to push the wrist so it's flat from the hand to the forearm, and you want to grip as hard as you can and turn the broomstick a little bit that way. And keep the elbow in next to your body. We're going to go 1, 2. So we want to keep that elbow really still. So we do a controlled eccentric on each side, which means that from here to here we go quickly, and then from here to here we go a bit slower. I think this is 6, 7, 8. You've really got to grip hard here to get the most out of this exercise. Okay, so you want to be gripping as hard as you can, and you want to make sure that you're aware of that, of not having an angle in your wrist like I showed before. So from the hand to the forearm is in a straight line with the elbow fixed in place. Okay, I think that's 12, and then you always grab up the same side on both sides, and you want to do the weaker arm first. Once you find out which arm is weaker, you do that one first. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I just realized 9. I think I counted 12, like 1, 2 on the other side, which isn't actually 12 reps, it was 6 reps, but that's okay. One more. Okay, so we change, go straight into it. I'll change angles. 1, 2. This whole workout is so good to help you fix golfer's elbow or tennis elbow. That's where, if you've got those issues, this is really good for it. And what you do is, the goal is with tendinopathy that you you try to feel a 2 to 4 out of 10 pain during the workout, but not beyond that. And the rule of thumb is that if the next day, if it feels worse, you went too hard. But here's the kicker: when it comes to tendinopathy, what happens is that you'll do a set and it will feel really sore, and then your body warms up and the pain goes. That doesn't mean you go heavier. That's a characteristic of tendinopathy, that the pain subsides when you warm up. So you gauge that 2 to 4 out of 10 pain on the first set. If you do this workout every second day, for me it was a really big part of fixing my golfer's elbow. Okay, change sides. It's really hard for me to keep count while I'm coaching, so if I'm doing more or less than 12 reps, then just do your 10 to 12 reps. 2, 2, 3. You can see, if you pay close attention, I'm really working to keep my whole arm still, and it's just this transition from supination to pronation that I'm working. Being really specific on the exact movement that you're doing on any exercise is really, really important. And it's one of the key areas where people go wrong, I think, with working out, is that they don't really get inside what the goal of the exercise is. What is the movement that they're trying to replicate? And they just grab a bunch of weight and go, oh, yeah, I can't really feel it, I'll just lift more weight. But if you can really learn how to articulate the movements that you're trying to do, that's where the magic happens. All right. Woo! Okay, last set. Let me move on to the last exercise. Go back this way. 1, 2, 3. And as you get better with this, you bring your arm out like that. So that is a harder version. Okay? You have to keep that arm still. And you got to keep the shoulder depressed at all times. And you got to keep that angle in the wrist. Okay? But we're doing it down here today. So you increase the intensity, like when you do weightlifting, obviously you lift more weight or you do more reps to increase intensity or to increase volume with more reps. So you can increase reps with this, of course, but what you can do to make it more challenging is you bring your hand further away from the broomstick head, okay, and that increases intensity. And then once you get to the point where you can do it with your hand at the end of the broomstick, that's when you straighten your arm out and then you repeat the process again. Okay, let's change sides. 1. Gotta watch out, I'm not going to hit anything in my studio here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Work for it, team. This is the last set for this one, so you really want to make sure you're doing it properly. Two more reps. All right, nice work. Woo, all right. Okay, next one, radial deviation. So same thing, we're going to keep that angle in the wrist, so you've really got to work that you don't do that with the wrist. You don't turn the wrist that way. So we want the hand like that, not like that. Grip really hard so you feel that you've got a good hold of the broom, and then from here, elbow under the humerus so that the arm is resting here. Then we come up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so this is called radial deviation. 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. All right, change sides. So grip really hard, elbow under the upper arm. 2, 3, really keeping that angle from the hand to the wrist. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice one. Now we do ulnar deviation. So from this one here, you grip exactly the same way, but you just bring your hand behind you a little bit. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we change sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, change. So what I normally do for my workouts, we do strength and flexibility all in the same workout. So this is just the finisher. This is what we do like right at the end. But we get strength and flexibility training done in the same workout in an hour. And the way I do that is like if I'm doing an upper body strength workout, oops, my wrist is a bit off there. Then I'll be doing lower body flexibility training between sets. So let's say I'm doing bench press and bent over row. So they're two antagonistic movements. Then in between the sets of both of those movements, instead of just sitting there doing nothing and resting, I'll be doing lower body stretching. So flexibility on my hamstrings or my hip flexors or middle splits or whatever it is. Change sides. And that's the most efficient way to get strong and flexible that I've ever found. Because I see people in forums asking questions about like, how do you get flexible without negatively affecting your weightlifting? It's a good question. And the most common answers by far that people are giving are do yoga 2 times a week or do 30 minutes of flexibility training at the end of your strength training. But the truth is, this is why so few people are flexible and strong. Like if you're serious about weightlifting or strength training and you're going to the gym 4, 5, 6 days a week for 60 to 90 minutes, how the hell are you going to find the time to do 2 yoga classes a week? And even if you do, 2 yoga classes a week is going to do 2/5 of stuff all. It's really not going to change much in your body. Okay, back to the ulnar deviation. It's really not. You need to do more flexibility work than that if you want to see any noteworthy changes. And then same with 30 minutes of stretching at the end of your workout. That would make a difference. If you were doing 30 minutes of flexibility training a day at the end of your workouts, you would see a significant improvement in flexibility. But who has the time for that? And it's not just about who has the time for that. It's like when I get to the end of my workout, man, like I tried doing stretching at the end for ages and you just never do it. You end up like you might be consistent and do it for like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something. And then you just, like when you're that fatigued, when you're that cooked at the end of your workout and you've just finished all your strength training, to try to stay back into another 30 minutes of good quality flexibility training, it never happens. You never actually stick it out. Last couple of reps. 5. And so if you want to see how I do it, how I get strength and flexibility done all in the same workout, click or tap the screen there and you can see one of my full workouts. I know I only did 2 sets of these ones. You can do a 3rd set if you want, of course, but just for the sake of not making the video too long, if you like this and got value out of it, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in that next video.